I'm John Mayo along with Dan Highland. We've got the Hearts for you tonight. Fast pitch softball. Our first look at the Hearts. They're taking on St. Joseph Ogden. And lead things off for St. Joe's. Here's Ken Ross, the catcher.
Fortunately tonight in our first game, John, we've got Bob Ginger, Hearts ace, on the mound. So expect a good game. St. Joe Ogden contains some players who formerly played for the Bloomington Beer Nuts. We've seen a number of these players locally for a while, and I think our fans will enjoy this tonight. Our first look at the Hearts.
Hearts come in a 52-15 record against St. Joe's. They're 32-31.
St. Joe Ogden, in just their second year of operation as a Class AA team, kind of a put-together team. Guys from the St. Joseph area, which is east of Champaign.
2-2 the count on Ken Ross.
Get a good look at Bobby Ginger. As we said earlier, the ace of the Bloomington Hearts. Bobby, this year, his record, 24-8.
Little delay in the game right there. We're working with one umpire to start things off. And the second umpire will be entering the field in just a little bit.
Hopefully. We're missing an umpire here tonight.
Little nubber out in front of the plate. Let that one go foul. Greg Stockton, catcher for the Hearts, let that one go. Like to see Ken Ross, the catcher, leading things off. You don't get to see that too often. And as a catcher myself, we want to see that speed in the top of the lineup. Get that catcher to lead things off. 2-2 count on Ross. That one in the dirt. So Bobby Ginger goes full. 3-2 count on Ken Ross. Ross hitting .231 this year for St. Joe's. Looks at that one. Put that one right across the middle, and Ross goes down. Strike three. So there's the first strike out of the game, first out of the game. Bob Ginger starts things off good. It's Clark Adams, the shortstop for St. Joe's. Clark hitting pretty impressive, .324 in the season. He's 57 out of 176. Leads the team in majority of their categories. 57 hits on the year. Takes that one down, 2-0. Count on Clark Adams. Leads the team in walks with 22. And runs with 41. It's Clark Adams. The guy St. Joe's wants to get on base. Full count. Bob Ginger has to work his way back. Takes that one on the inner half. Ginger gets that one across. So 3-1, one down. We're in the top of the first for St. Joe's. Ginger fights his way back, full count. So let's see if Bob Ginger can come all the way back. 3-0 to start. Now a full count. Adams steps out of the box. There's the pitch. And a shot for Clark Adams. Singles past Pat Singleton in the left field. First base hit of the ball game. First runner is Clark Adams. Gets things going. And with the runner at first, it's Darrell Wayrand, right fielder. Adams on first, one out. Wayrand leads the team in hitting. .449 batting average. He's he's 40 out of 89 on the season.
Big man, big tall man in the left-handed batter's box, John.
Good stick. Takes that one. Eric Niepagan and Mike Kernan looking for the bunt.
Ginger, once again, keeping the low drop on the outside. Expect a lot of drops from Ginger, a lot of low stuff. Bobby's a successful pitcher because he can keep the ball low. Another good pitch. Excellent pitch in the outside corner.
0-2 the count on Wayrand. Clark Adams on first. One down on the top of the first. Hearts against St. Joe's. This pitch from Ginger. Just missed outside. 1-2.
Still low. Good place to waste a pitch like that. Ginger works slow. Takes a lot of time between pitches. Very into the concentrating aspect of the game. He'll take 2 or 3 steps behind the mound every time. And thus, John, I don't think we can look for the quickest game ever on record tonight.
Back inside. Kernan goes the easy way down to second. Gets the force past Singleton. 2 down.
I think Kernan was taken a little bit by surprise. A little bit moment of indecision. Ball over to Singleton for the force. Brian Marty, playing his first year of second base for the Hearts, was there to take the throw at the other end.
With Wayrand on first base, here's Mel Workman. He's the pitcher for St. Joe's.
Mel, former Beer Nuts player, under C.J. Stolfa for a number of years.
Mel's also hitting .400 on the season. Nice even 50 out of 125.
Good numbers. Mel didn't do much pitching, of course, when he was here with Beer Nuts. Played a lot of first.
Good pitch right there from Ginger. Gets the outer half.
Good rise on its way up. Not a high rise as we saw with some of the A teams that we've covered or in some of the Beer Nuts games. That was a good rise that started low and came right up across the belt.
1-1 count on Workman. That one's down in the dirt. Greg Stockton with the block. 2-1 on Mel Workman. We've got 2 down. We're in the top of the first. No score. Little number down the third baseline. Foul. 2-2.
Good looking crowd here tonight for the Hearts game. It's been a beautiful August day, so fans obviously taking a chance to come out to O'Neill Park and see good quality fast pitch softball.
Full count now on Workman. First beautiful day we've had in about 2 weeks, I guess you can say.
I guess they've all been nice, but they haven't been hot. That's for sure. This one was not hot. They've all been hot, I should say. A full count, as you said. Bobby Ginger needs to get out of this inning right here. Getting Workman.
Down to short, taken by Singleton, goes over to first, and Ginger gets out of it. No runs, 1 hit. Clark Adams had a single. Go to Hart's half of the first inning, no score.
Smart play by Pat Singleton there. He knew that Workman doesn't possess the greatest speed. Mel has played for a number of years and thus doesn't move that great up the first baseline. And Singleton took his time, righted himself, and made a good, strong throw to first.
I'll give you Workman's numbers as a pitcher this year. St. Joe's nice enough to drop off their stats for us. 12-13 record, 2.59 ERA. 169 innings pitched, so he's seen a lot of action out there for him.
Yes, he has. He's a workhorse, that's for sure, no doubt about it.
There we are, John. I have to lean.
You have to lean out. and then lean back, or I fall off my chair.
It's quite a glare coming in here. It's tough right field for us this evening.
John wearing the new Team Telecable hat, the official light beer hat, which he wore this weekend when he played against Boog Powell. You were even mean, too. I think didn't you throw Boog out at first base on a close play from short?
I don't think I got it. What I did do is force him out, though, at second base. He, they brought that ringer, Boog Powell, into play, hitting the cleanup spot and moved me down to the 5 spot there. And that's what happened. You get that slow runner ahead of me, and it hits into a force play. I would have had a infield single there, Dan. You know that.
I noted your upset, your temper tantrum when you didn't get to bat cleanup in the exhibition game. TV 10 star John Mayo. Temperamental TV 10 star John Mayo.
Yeah, a lot of fun, though.
Joe brought in the cloud shot early tonight. That was a good-looking cloud shot he had there a minute ago. While we were talking so abruptly.
All right, starting things off for Hearts. Bottom of the first, here's Brian Marty, the second baseman, number 9. Takes a solid shot into right field. That'll get by Darryl Wadran, and around goes Marty in the third. He'll stop right there.
Well, 1 pitch and 1 triple. It could be a long night for Mel Workman at this rate.
Brian Marty starts things off with the triple. Got that one up a little bit. Bat Boy took a stumble.
Well, the smallest bat boys I've seen around in a while, that's for sure.
Takes him a while to get back to the bench. Marty Stupek now, center fielder.
Stupek, one of the new additions to Beer Nuts this year, or to Hearts this year. With Workman on the mound, I've got Beer Nuts on my mind. I get those two, both Workman brothers, of course, organized the St. Joe team, and I just, knowing them with Beer Nuts for so long, they're stuck in my mind, so I have to apologize for calling them Hearts the Beer Nuts.
1-1 they count on Stupek, center fielder. So Hart's looking to jump out early. Brian Marty on third base. On the bottom of the first, no score. Right back up the middle. Single for Stupek, and the score is Brian Marty. And it's 1-0 Hearts.
Well, the Hearts taking off quickly. They haven't had a problem scoring runs this year, that's for sure. The Hearts have been producing or showing having one of their best offensive seasons that I've seen so far. And this being only the second or third time I saw them all year, once again, they've exhibited that quickly.
So is Stupek on first here. Steve King, the right fielder. Hit and run was on Stupek. Takes advantage of that. Goes over to third base. Steve King gets a single out of it, first and third.
That's perfect execution by a very smart hitter, Steve King. Steve, the Wesleyan product, just can't say enough about him. He, since he's taken up the game of fast-pitch softball after playing baseball a couple years ago, he turned into a solid player, solid outfielder for the Hearts.
Good execution right there. St. Joe's Mike Jaffe, second baseman, was going over to cover on the stolen base as Stupek took off. Left second base wide open, and King just put it right through there. First and third, nobody out. Bubba Bell, the extra player.
Now I can say former Beer Nut player. How about that? Former Beer Nut player, Bubba Bell. This year playing his first year with the Bloomington Hearts. Bubba, of course, played with Springfield Brants before that.
King with the stolen base down to second.
Well, the Hearts' game plan is obviously going to be aggressive base running tonight against Ken Ross, the catcher for St. Joe Ogden. They've obviously scouted him. Of course, they have seen him. St. Joe did take part in the ISC state tournament, just completed a couple weekends ago, in which the Hearts finished second to Decatur ADM.
2-0 the count on Bubba Bell. No one out. Top of the first, or bottom of the first. Hearts leading 1-0. Bubba with a full swing right there. A little number down the first base line. 2-1.
Get a good shot of Mel Workman right there. Getting a signal from Ken Ross, the catcher. Look at Workman's delivery. Kind of a big hop there by Workman, where he generates most of his power.
Comes from the side. He turns his body a little bit quarter turn there and then brings the ball kind of a whipping action in behind it.
His back's kind of straight. He doesn't really get on top of the ball with a bent back as a lot of fast pitch pitchers do.
Bubba Bell takes the walk. Bases are loaded. Steve King on second base. Over at third, there's Marty Stupek. Bubba Bell's on first, and Mike Kernan at the plate.
Well, Workman's in an early jam. The Hearts have yet to keep from getting a base runner on.
Brian Marty started things off the triple. He's already scored 1-0 Hearts. There's a good pitch from Workman on the outer half. 0-1 on Kernan.
You're right. That was a very good pitch. Froze Kernan a little bit. I've never seen Kernan play. I don't know. He looks like the bunning type, though, doesn't he? Let's see if the Hearts have something special on here.
Takes the full swing back to the screen. 0-2.
Swinging away looks to be the signal that Bill Kennedy's given from the bench here. Bill Kennedy, a coach of the Bloomington Hearts.
Oh, and 2 on Kernan. Fights that one off. Foul ball down the line. So Stupek will go back to third. King back to second. Bubba Bell over to first. And the count remains 0-2 on Mike Kernan, the first baseman for the Hearts.
Big pitch right here for Workman. Let's look for something on the inside half.
Goes the other way, misses outside, 1-2.
A little surprised he didn't try to jam a younger player like Kernan right here, so he could get a 1 or 2 hopper back to either his third or first baseman or something he could field for a force at the plate.
No one out, bottom of the first. There's a rip right down the first base line. Kernan comes through. In this score is Stupek. That one almost thrown over the fence. Also coming in is Steve King. Stopping at third base is Bubba Bell. Moving up to second is Mike Kernan.
Boy, the right fielder for St. Joe Ogden, Daryl Warend, really uncorked a wild throw almost out of the park off the very top of the 10-foot fence section here into the third base dugout, and the Hearts have picked up 2 more runs, and I guess that wasn't a very good call by my part to try to jam Kernan, didn't he? He did turn on it.
Mike Kernan turned on that pitch. He's at second base now. Second and third to Greg Stockton, the catcher. 3 runs in for the Hearts, bottom of the first. Still no one out. Now Workman trying to find a way to get him, at least one of these Hearts out.
He said Mel Workman doing the majority of the pitching for St. Joe Ogden. Obviously, they didn't intend that Mel wouldn't be able to get out of the first.
Didn't mean to swing type of deal for Greg Stockton.
Excuse me, 2 hopper.
Larry Adams takes care of that. 1 down. Bubba Bell and Mike Kernan stayed right where they were. Second and third. Eric Nepagian now, third baseman.
Eric, another former Bloomington Budweiser and beer nut player, transferring over to the Hearts. Seems to be a lot of that going on. Weeps kind of come into his own since he's came with the Hearts. Was a 3/4 time player with C.J. Stolfa. Now since he's signed with the Hearts, he's been full-time and performed admirably.
Pops that one right back up in the box. Ken Ross, the catcher, takes that one. 2 down. That'll bring up Pat Singleton. Pat, the shortstop for the Hearts. Workman misses up top. 1-0 now on Singleton. 3 runs in. Second and third, 2 down for the Bloomington Hearts. We're in the bottom of the first. Singleton to center field. That drops in. Comes a play at the plate. Workman. They cut it off. Go back to second. Singleton's in at second. Bubba Bell and Mike Kernan scored. 5-0 Hearts.
A veteran like Singleton, you just can't give him a rise ball like that right over the heart of the plate, and he just lined it easily into center field. Good hustle. shown there by Kernan coming in. And here's a veteran, one of the long-time fast-pitch players in Bloomington, that's for sure. That's Bobby Watson at the plate.
Bob takes that one off the shoulder. Hit by pitch down to first. 2 out. We go back up to the top of the order to Brian Marty. Started this whole thing off with a triple. Five runs in for the Hearts. It's 5-0. 2 out. First and second. Back up to the top. Second baseman Brian Marty. Turns on that one down to first. Taken in by Larry Adams. Finally, the Hearts are put out here in the bottom of the first. 5 runs in. They lead it 5-0 on Telecable Softball.
Watch Teleaerobics Tuesday through Friday at 7 o'clock on Telecable Channel 10.
What do the owners of this Lamborghini, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz have in common? Auto House of Bloomington Normal. They understand that even perfection needs fine-tuning. With 27 years experience, Auto House stands behind their guarantees and their customers. 24-hour service for any unexpected emergency. Free pickup and delivery for those whose time is valuable. Could 94 out of 106 McLean County Mercedes owners be wrong? From Audi to Volvo, Auto House is there. Make your appointment today. Call 454-8080.
We really need it on the weekends. During the week, it's hard for us to connect. But on the weekend, we want to be together. Go places, do things, let go a little. So, on Friday night, we watch This Weekend on the Weather Channel before we leave, just to make sure there are no surprises. Well, almost no surprises.
Watch This Weekend and Weekend Update on the Weather Channel for everything you do.
Welcome to Brad Barker Honda's beautiful, spacious new showroom, where in greater comfort, relaxation, and enjoyment, we'll give you a closer look at the most complete selection of all new 1987 Hondas in Central Illinois. If you're looking for a Honda, come to Brad Barker Honda, now at our new location at the corner of Veterans Parkway and GE Road in Bloomington. Brad Barker.
And welcome back to Bloomington's O'Neill Park. I'm John Mayo along with Dan Highland. Telecable softball for you. Bloomington Hearts against St. Joseph. Hearts jumped out to a quick 5-0 lead as we go to the top of the second inning.
Getting a good look at Bobby Ginger there in his warm-ups. That's classic fast pitch style right there from Bobby Ginger. Bobby, a lot of upper body and a lot of leg drive, and Bobby throws the velocity of the ball, excuse me, with a good deal of velocity.
Faced 4 batters in the first. Been a born hit. Clark Adams, the shortstop for St. Joe's, had a single on the top of the first. Lead things off top of the second. Here's Kevin Kelly. Kevin, the left fielder. He's hitting .250 this year for St. Joe's. Limited action, 5 for 20. Takes that one to right field. Steve King handles that. 1 down.
Good contact. Getting around a little late on Ginger's drop. Not able to get around quick enough on the ball to pull it, though, and the first out of the inning.
Kevin Kelly, a left fielder, started going to the wrong dugout there, turned around. And it's Larry Adams now, the first baseman for St. Joe's. Ooh, just missed outside for Ginger. There's the bunt coming right at us.
Oh.
Top of the fence.
Didn't get it down, that's for sure. Bunted it real high, almost as you said, back into our box here.
So the count's 1-1 on Larry Adams, one down, top of the second. Good pitch right there from Bob Ginger. 1-2. Got the rise on the outer half. Boy, he's hitting spots good. Larry Adams goes down on strikes. Ginger, second strikeout, 2 down, top of the second.
Ginger averaging almost 8 strikeouts a game, as you said, John. Another strikeout, averaging 7.94 strikeouts per game. So obviously Bobby Ginger is a strikeout pitcher, a power pitcher in the game of fast pitch.
Here's Chip Hasselbring, third baseman for St. Joe's. Hasselbring hitting a .333 clip on the year. Just missed outside, 1-1.
Ginger working the corners all night tonight. Pure speed right by him.
1-2.
I'd like to go in against a guy like Bobby Ginger. Some of that aggressiveness would rub off on the beer nuts. They'd maybe be doing a little better than they are. I don't know.
1-0-2.
It's a lot of stolen bases, let me tell you.
It's a lot of adding up in my mind is what it was.
That was great work. And as I just glance, I want to ask you to add this one up. I'll talk about that after a minute. Go ahead.
King out second to first. Jaffe over to Adams. 1 down.
Looking across the stat sheet that you have, just that end category there, sacrifice bunts, that's not a large amount, I don't think. Do you, just glancing at it? It's not, that's not, whereas we usually in fast pitch we see tons and tons of sacrifice bunts.
Pat Singleton leads the team with 12. There's Bubba Bell down to second base. Jaffe over to first. A little roller down to Larry Adams at first.
The old roller play. I saw that. They were working on it on the during infield. The second baseman muffs it and then rolls it off the end of his hand down over to the first baseman. Good play.
Marty Stupek did come in to score. 6-0 Hearts now. Still goes down in the book as 4-3. Scoring at home with us.
4-3-R. 4-3 roll.
Mike Kernan now, the first baseman. Also singled and scored in his first. Right back up the middle for another single.
Tell you what, I haven't seen Kernan play this year. I'm going to go through here and find out where he came from, as a matter of fact. But, boy, he's been impressive. 2 swings of the bat and 2 bullets.
He's only hitting 148 this year for the Hearts, but we've seen his numbers improve this evening. He's 2 for 2. So that'll bring up Greg Stockton, the catcher for the Hearts. Got 2 down when the bottom of the second. 6-0 Hearts leading St. Joe's here on Telecable Softball.
Last year, Kernan played for the Quad City Bandits, the #1 team out of Rock Island. So him being in his addition has definitely helped the Hearts. There's no doubt about that.
Jaffe over to Adams. That takes care of Stockton. Takes care of the Hearts here in the bottom of the second. But they pick up 1 more run. They add to the lead. 6-0. Hearts leading St. Joe's on Telecable Softball.
Glacier Bay, Alaska, and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Glacier Bay means the one and only Alaskan king crab, sweet, fresh, and big. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer, cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer, and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light. There's nothing like the flavor of a special place. Old Milwaukee beer. Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
Hey guys, it doesn't get any better than this.
Is your carpet beginning to show its age? Are you tired of that same old kitchen floor? Then now's the time to stop into the floor store, 1201 Morrissey, for all your floor covering needs. Let Wayne and Gary personally help you choose from a large selection of no-wax vinyl floors by Armstrong and Congoleum. Carpeting by Mohawk in Philadelphia. Also pre-finished hardwoods and floor tile. With 13 years experience, you know the job will be done right.
See us, Wayne or Gary, for all your floor covering needs at the Floor Store, 1201 Morrissey Drive.
Lafitte, Louisiana and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Lafitte means flat-bottom boat racing and a Cajun feast that'll set your mouth on fire. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer, cold, crisp, Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place, an Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Hi, I'm Dean Grimm. Back in 1920, when Grimm TV and Appliance first opened their doors, my grandfather, father, and uncles began to build a reputation for Grimm, offering their customers fair prices, backed by good service and customer satisfaction. That family philosophy has become a tradition at Grimm's. For value, service, and the best in RCA electronics, Grimm TV and Appliance will serve you better because we care. Morton, Peoria, and Bloomington.
And welcome back to O'Neill Park in Bloomington. Telecable softball. Hearts leading St. Joe 6-0 as we go to the top of the third. Dan's 5th time that these two teams have met this year. St. Joe's has been shut out by the Hearts. 4-0 against them this year. So the Hearts have had their number, but we were talking about St. Joe's earlier. It's only their 2nd year and fast pitch organized team. Third.
The Hearts know 2 teams with 4 games Sunday and 4 o'clock Saturday, and 4 games Sunday.
They definitely, the St. Joe team in just their 2nd year of operation have definitely taken some big steps. They're playing a quality schedule, and that's the way you become better. We've talked about that both in slow pitch and in fast pitch. You and I agree on that. I think that to be a good ball player, you have to play against other good ball players and good teams.
Start things off for St. Joe's. Top of the third, here's David Workman, center fielder. Part of the Workman connection for this St. Joe's team. Strike on the bunt, 0-2. Of course, there's Mel Workman Jr., Terry Workman, and David Workman just goes down on strikes right there.
Good pitch. Bobby Ginger painting the black on the outside. Tab Kraft, the umpire, ringing up Workman for a strikeout.
Strikeout number 4 for Bob Ginger. Here's Mike Jaffe. Mike had a workout in the field as last time. 3 assists. Let's see what he does at the plate against Bob Ginger.
Down the line we see, I believe it might be Dennis Archer. If I'm familiar enough with the St. Joe team, which I am semi, I believe it might be Dennis Archer down there, the 2nd St. Joe pitcher.
Don Archer, actually. Pat Singleton.
No, there's 2 on there. It could be either one of the Archers. Is Don Archer a pitcher?
Don Archer is one of their pitchers. He's 124 innings so far, so that's probably odds on that it's Don down there.
Yeah, they've got them both listed here. I was looking at the roster, or the lineup card, their subs.
Back up to the top of the order for Ken Rouse. A nice play in the infield there by Pat Singleton. Quick throw is short. Took care of Jaffe. 2 down. Ross struck out his first time up back in the 1st. Pops that one up. Singleton calls for it, takes care of it. 1-2-3 inning once again for Bob Ginger. He mows down St. Joe's. 6-0 Hearts leading St. Joe's. Go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Hearts team comes in 52-15 on this year. Won a couple tournaments, placed well in a couple tournaments, I guess I can say. The Memorial Day tourney, they were 2nd place. At Big Stars and Stripes Classic, they were 4th. And then that ISC State 2nd place, we talked a little bit about that. It was in Decatur.
course, those are the tournaments that they've perennially done well in. Last year, they were the ISC state champs and placed 26th at the ISC World Tournament, John. So, you know, the Hearts have perennially done well in big tournaments. Of course, another big tournament we have coming up yet this year is the ASA state tournament here, in which both the Beer Nuts and Hearts will be taking part. And we'll talk a little more about that later. Looks like we got a pitching change, John. And it's probably Don Archer.
It's Don Archer.
I was just introducing Don before I introduced you. I felt it was more important.
Yeah, of course. There you see Don Archer. He comes in with 124 innings pitched. 8-9 record, 4.4 or 4.5 ERA, I guess you can call it. Also got a catching change. Doug Maxwell comes in. We'll move behind the plate and take over for Ken Ross.
So we're just going to have a complete battery change for St. Joe Ogden. They'll see if the Hearts will see if they can run on Maxwell now, I guess.
Hearts leading 6-0 as we go to the bottom of the third.
Times I've seen St. Joe play, Maxwell's been their regular catcher. So we'll see if he can slow down that base running attack that the Hearts have been plastering St. Joe with.
Leading things off for the Hearts, Eric Niepagen, the third baseman. Takes the change for a ball. Niepagen popped up to the catch.
Looking at Kennedy like, oops, somebody missed a sign somewhere, and I don't think Watson wanted to bunt that pitch. It's kind of he's got kind of a strange change.
It's not even a batting practice change. It's slower than that coming in.
Yeah, it's almost like a bloop type of pitch for fast pitch. Somebody gets timing on that, they're going to send it out to Route 150.
Giving that one a good ride. Bob Watson to center field. That's taken in by David Workman. 2 down. Watson didn't get all of that one.
No, just kind of looked like he got just a little piece of it and still sent it a long way to center field.
So Niepagen still at first. Back up to the top of the order for Brian Marty. Brian 1 for 2. To center field, that burns David Workman. Coming around to score, Eric Niepagen. Stopping at second base, Brian Marty with a double.
Marty with another extra base hit tonight. His 14th double of the year. Goes along with the triple that he had earlier. And Brian Marty's obviously hitting the ball well for the Hearts. Last year he hit .353 for the Hearts, playing a regular third base for him. And how's he hitting this year, John? I didn't get a chance to see that.
.367 on the year, and he picks up his 28th RBI right there as Eric Niepagen came in. 7-0 Hearts. Here's Marty Stupak, center fielder, down the line, taken in by the right fielder, Darrell Wayrack.
Boy, Archer barely got away with that change-up bloop pitch we were talking about. I think if Stupak would have got a little more of it, he'd have really sent the right fielder into the corner.
So Brian Marty stranded at second base. He does pick up one more run for the Hearts. They lead at 7-0 here at O'Neill.
For the past several years, HBO has conducted a test of its comedy forecast system. This was only a test. This has been a test of the comedy forecast system. In the event of a laugh deficiency, you are instructed to tune to HBO's Comedy Festival in June and July for an all-star explosion of laughs with Rodney Dangerfield, Billy Crystal, Howie Mandel, Bob Goldthwait, Paul Rodriguez, Buddy Hackett, Robin Williams, Rich Little, George Carlin, Alan King, and many more. Remember, this is only a test, but you've seen the results. The HBO Comedy Festival, playing all month long, right here on HBO.
Konica Tough. Konica's Royal Copiers, the answer for tough customers. A full line of copiers that have proven themselves tough in businesses from coast to coast. Copiers backed by nationwide sales and service that's as tough as it is responsive.
See us today at Copy Products Corporation, 901 East Grove in Bloomington, for your next Konica Royal copier, or call us at 828-2821.
Discover the fashions for fitness and fun at the Dance Shop, 1314 South Main, Normal.
And welcome back to Bloomington's O'Neill Park. I'm John Mayo along with Dan Highland. Hearts leading this one 7-0 over St. Joe's. Our first look at the Hearts here until softball this year.
And even though the game isn't close right now, John, I'm really enjoying it because I've seen the Hearts in limited play, as I said, only 3 or 4 times. And it's a new Hearts team, at least I think it is, from what I've seen in previous years. Bill Kennedy definitely has an aggressive team this year, and that just adds to enjoyment of fast-pitch softball. This is, good run production here.
What do you call this season for the Hearts? Is it a rebuilding year? Is it a team that they want to keep working on, moving the younger players at all, or?
I think that's what it started out to be. Yeah, definitely. When you lose the Collins boys, you add Bubba Bell, who's got a lot of experience. You've got Eric Niepagan playing third base, a new position. Brian Marty playing second base, a new position. The only guy in the infield who was a regular on this team last year, Singleton at short. Got Watson not in center, and King's out in right field where he was last year. Other than that, you got a brand new team, and they're still 52-13.
Right.
I think it's a great year for them.
Clark Adams started things off, top of the 4th. His second hit of the evening, the only 2 hits off of Bob Ginger so far. Clark Adams, I said earlier, leading that St. Joe's team in hitting. 59 hits on the season for Adams. Double play ball. Down to second, he drops the ball. Singleton couldn't come up with it.
Never had his hand on it. Marty almost double clutched. Did you notice that, John? He thought about tagging the play, and I think the Singleton was across the bag, and the throw just wasn't there.
Pat Singleton tried to barehand that one, never came up with it. First and second, no one out. Wayrand on first. Pop up. Out of play into the stands. Don Archer at the plate. First look at Archer with the bat. He hasn't swung it too much this year. He's 4 for 22 for St. Joe's.
Well, of course, with Workman being a good hitter, him coming in to relieve Workman, which is something he usually doesn't do, he's now got to go to the plate because they're not using a DH for Workman in the first place. Probably when Archer usually pitches, they're using the DH.
0-2 on Archer. No one out, top of the 4th, 7-0 Hearts. Now there's one down. Archer goes down on strikes. Strikeout number 5 for Bob Ginger.
Well, here's St. Joe's best rally against Ginger so far tonight. Runners on first and second.
Got Clark Adams at second, Wayrand at first. Here's Kevin Kelly, the left fielder for St. Joe's. Flew out to right field his last time up. Gave it a good ride out there. Missed on the outer half, 1-0.
Ginger staying with the hard stuff, consistently throwing it in there hard. Once again, working the outer half, and he'll want to keep it low here, something that his infielders can get here.
Just missing that one, Kevin Kelly. Had the timing there.
Yep, he was on him. He had a good ride last time up. A deep fly ball to right center field. Good stop by Greg Stockton, the catcher, right there. That's a tough play, John. backhanded stop on the outside of your shin guard, especially coming that quick.
2-1 the count on Kevin Kelly. Good pitch right there for Bob Ginger. Boy, he's coming hard.
Yeah, he is. That's something you might want to comment on, being a catcher formerly. How would you like to be back there catching those guys as quick as that? You know, we got a lot of time to think when you're a catcher in baseball from that distance, 65 feet, but here at 45 feet, that ball's on you quickly.
And the ball's moving a lot more than it does a fastball in baseball. Actually, the ball's not moving that much as it is, let's say, a drop ball in a fast pitch softball.
And as you're starting, I think what you're getting to, too, is the fact that it almost operates on one plane. Where this thing's, you know, all of a sudden the ball drops, the heart drops out of it. Of course, that doesn't happen in baseball unless you're Joe Niekro.
10-day suspension handed down today.
Joe, here's a tip. Take the fingernail file and leave it in the dugout.
Kevin Kelly goes down on strikes, number 6 for Bob Ginger. 2 down now, first and second to Larry Adams.
I guess we're allowed some commentary, aren't we?
Sure. I still don't think that's as bad. A couple years ago, pitcher caught with thumbtack taped to his finger.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who that was.
Rick Honeycutt. Thank you, Joe Shiraba.
Joe, come on up here.
Joe Shiraba, our director, pulls through in the clutch for us this evening. Rick Honeycutt of the LA Dodgers. That's who that was.
Good pitch. Bobby really sticking it past St. Joe right now.
0-2. Larry Adams. Clark Adams at second. Wayrand on first. Ooh, just missed outside.
Craig Stockton framing the ball really nicely for trying to drag it in over the inside half, or outside half, excuse me. Just couldn't get it done. Tabb's been around a few too many years to let a catcher pull that on him.
Didn't need to right there. The swing and miss for Larry Adams. Bob Ginger comes back with 3 strikeouts after Clark Adams let things off the single, and then an error. Their Wayrand was on, first and second. St. Joe's couldn't come through. They still trail 7-0. We go to the bottom of the 4th.
We said earlier we'd talk a little bit about the state tournament coming up. The ASA state tournament here beginning August 27th. The Bloomington Hearts will be taking on the winner of Alton and Sonneman, I think. I'm doing this off the top of my head since I didn't see the draw. They take on the winner of that game, while the Bloomington Beer Nuts take on Taylorville in a first-round game. So Taylorville being the team that eliminated Beer Nuts for the ISC tournament, so there'll be a little bit of a revenge factor there, I'm sure.
While you're talking state tournaments, congratulations go out to you as well as the rest of all the staff of Parks and Rec. A great job for the women's Class A and AA state championships concluded over the weekend here at O'Neill Park.
It was a big job, but you know, the thing in retrospect now that you look back at it couldn't have been done without people like yourself, you know, in TV10 who gave us good help, and the media who was really wonderful. You know, we had a lot of celebrities come out for the celebrity game. The crowd was better when you were here for the AA championship, as you know, than it was for the celebrity game, but successful tournaments, I guess, only generated by how popular it is around town, in terms for me anyway, and it was successful in that respect.
Steve King leads things off for the Hearts, bottom of the 4th, single to left. Steve's 2 for 3 now. Bubba Bell at the plate.
Here's Big Bubba. Quality home run here in fast pitch softball. There's no doubt about that. If a man has power, it's Bubba.
Steve King goes down to second base. Stolen base off of Doug Maxwell. That's the 3rd stolen base in the evening for the Hearts. It's 2nd for Steve King. .23 on the season for Steve. See if Bubba Bell can pick up another RBI. He's already got 37. Moving over to third base right there. Don Archer loads the wild pitch, so Steve King moves up to third.
Bubba might be able to get that RBI without even without even swinging the bat. Only 2 home runs this year for Bubba. A little bit surprising. That kind of takes me by surprise. Last year he had a bunch for the Bear Nuts. Of course, Hearts have faced consistently tough pitching pretty much most of the season.
1-2 the count on Bubba. Goes down on strikes right there. First strikeout of the evening for Don Archer. First strikeout for the Hearts this evening.
Well, this could turn into a real quick game here, especially if St. Joe's not able to score in the next inning. We'll have a short one, 7-0, and I'm kind of disappointed because I'm enjoying the game that we've got going right here. I guess it's because I just don't get to see the Hearts, as I said, that much, and they performed well for a fast pitch game.
Mike Kernan at the plate, first baseman. 2 for 2 this evening. Perfect evening so far. 1 run scored. Goes to center field.
That's a good ride.
Workman had to go back to the fence. He took that step in. Coming into the plate, Steve King on the sac fly. 8-0 Hearts.
Well, I guess it's only one game to really go on, but the new Hearts players this year, I've been most impressed with Kernan. 3 RBIs tonight. And that's solid contact on that hit right there for a little guy.
He's having a good evening so far. Here's Greg Stockton, the catcher. Time called. Our ump was not ready.
Yeah, it's a little hard for Tab to go right down there behind the catcher without his mask on.
I wouldn't do it.
No.
1-0 the count on Greg Stockton. Hearts jumped out to 5-0 lead. Pinch hitter is Dennis Cooper. And for Greg Stockton, got that call late up here in the box. Sorry I didn't note that one earlier.
Yeah, I missed it too. I didn't even see him sneak in up there. Cooper, one of the newer Hearts players, just joining them the second half of the season.
It's 5 for 13, 385 batting average so far for the Hearts. It's a good cut at that one. 2-1.
And he takes one for the team.
Second hits batsman for the Hearts. Bob Watson was hit earlier. So with 2 down, Dennis Cooper's on first. Eric Niepagan, third baseman at the plate. Eric's 1 for 2 this evening. Single and a run scored back in the third. Pops that one up. That'll be out of play into the stands.
Thought it was going to be off the press box. I kept waiting for that thud.
You got to wake Joe up in the truck. He needs a shot over that way, I do believe. Hasn't been a while. Joe Schiraba, our director this evening. On the cameras, Mike Wheeler, Gary Boats. Shot to left field.
Never get that one. That's in the left field corner. Solid contact.
Burns Kevin Kelly. Niepagan stops at second with a double, and Dennis Cooper scores the 9th run of the ball game for the Hearts.
Eric Niepagan's 5th double of the year, and that's a well-hit ball for Eric. Boy, he powdered that one. The left fielder was frozen by that line drive.
There's Pat Singleton. Pat's 1 for 2 this evening. Puts down the bunt. Good location. He's going to beat that one out.
Perfect execution. Really good play by Singleton. I think Singleton looked at the third baseman for Chip Hasselbring for St. Joe and saw him just 2-3 steps in front of the bag, and that's not a standard fast pitch position when you got a quick guy like him, Singleton, in the box who can bunt. So he's bunting for a hit, obviously.
She said good execution right there for Pat Singleton. First and third, Niepagan moved over to third. Here's Bob Watson, the left fielder.
See if Bob can get that lead into double digits here.
Bobby 0 for 1. Fakes the bunt. Down to second base with the stolen base. Pat Singleton, 4th stolen base of the evening. So Hearts adding on to that total of stolen bases for the year.
Watson hitting .283. Those aren't standard Bob Watson statistics. Bobby Watson last year, hitting about 250, so I guess I'm wrong. Actually, Bob's been playing for such a long time that he has always seemed like a 300 hitter to me, and has been for, career-wise. And the number of years that he's played, this being one of the, probably his last years, those aren't bad statistics, I guess, really either.
Pops that one out of play. 2-2 the count on Bob Watson. Watching him hit in batting practice before the game. Consistent line drive type of hitter.
Bob also has a good eye. He's been around long enough to know what's a strike and what's a not, and he's a very selective hitter.
Full count on Bob Watson. Second and third, 9-0 Hearts. Pops that one up. Catcher takes that one. Doug Maxwell. Knee Pigeon and Singleton stranded on base. Two more runs in there in the fourth inning for the Hearts. They lead at 9-0. We go to the fifth.
Hi, I'm Dean Grimm. Back in 1920, when Grimm TV and Appliance first opened their doors, my grandfather, father, and uncles began to build a reputation for Grimm's, offering their customers fair prices backed by good service and customer satisfaction. That family philosophy has become a tradition at Grimm's. For value, service, and the best in GE appliances, Grimm TV and Appliance will serve you better because we care. Morton, Peoria, and Bloomington.
Snake River, Wyoming and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. The Snake River means fly fishing for lunker cutthroat trout. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer. And smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place. And Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
Fellas, it just doesn't get any better than this.
Honda has been ranked as the #1 car in America in the Consumer Satisfaction Index, ahead of all domestic cars, ahead of all other import cars, surpassing Mercedes-Benz. Maybe that's why Honda was also the #1 selling import car in McLean County in 1986. When you want the car that's ranked #1, come to Brad Barker Honda, now at our new location at the corner of Veterans Parkway and GE Road in Bloomington. Brad Barker.
Remember your summer vacation with pictures processed at Skylar's Picture Place. Skylar's is a member of the Kodak Color Watch system to ensure your vacation pictures turn out the best they can. Here's a great vacation special for you. Bring in 5 rolls of color print film and pay for only 4. That's right, your 5th roll of equal value is processed free. So bring in your color print film of summer fun to Skylar's. If you love pictures, you'll love Skylar's Picture Place, Colonial Plaza in Bloomington.
As we go to the top of the 5th inning here on Telecable Softball at O'Neill Park, the Hearts leading this one 9-0 over St. Joe's. John Mayo and Dan Highland back with you. Leading things off for St. Joe's, Chip Hasselbring, the third baseman.
St. Joe needs to make some contact here. Need to get a run off of Bobby Ginger, who's carrying a hefty .79 ERA. That's less than 1 run a game. So I don't think the prospect of getting 9 should loom very good.
Hasselbring taking his cuts. 0-2. 0-3.
And you said it. You really said it best in your statement that said Hasselbring taking his cuts. That's about what he was doing up there.
8 strikeouts for Bob Ginger.
I guess it's just an average game, isn't it, John? It's what he averages a game.
David Workman. Then again, this is only the 5th inning if he only goes that far.
True. You're right. Good point.
Workman struck out back in the 3rd. Been impressed with Bob Ginger so far. He's only given up 2 hits, both to Clark Adams, the shortstop for St. Joe's. He's 2 for 2. Oh, good pitch right there for Ginger. Catches the outer half. 0-2 on David Workman. And 0-3. I like that phrase, 0-3.
At this rate, that's about all St. Joe understands right now. 6 pitches, 6 strikes. I don't know if we've had 6 swings or not, but I don't think we've had any foul balls. Let's put it that way.
Mike Jaffe, second baseman. There's the ball.
Oh, what's he doing? He's terrible.
1-0 the count on Jaffe. 2-0.
Probably just trying to finish strong here. Probably going to be the only work he's going to see tonight. And he'd probably like to go down with a 1-2-3K inning.
Gets that one right across. 2-1 the count on Jaffe. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Hearts leading St. Joe's 9-0. 2-2.
With a 2-2 count and 2 outs here in the top of the 5th, in which looking for just 1 strike to end the game, I'd guess the hardest thing that he can throw right past him right now. I'm Stockton. I dig in because here it comes, the Heat, the Express, and he's out of there.
Strike 3 call. Jaffe goes down on strikes. 1-2-3 inning right there for Bob Ginger. Strikes out the side. We'll come back and wrap things up for you on Telecable Softball right after this.
Historical landmarks, cultural opportunities, economic optimism, and community activities. You can learn more about these Bloomington Normal offerings each week by turning to Teleview. Teleview is an informative local program which emphasizes the wide-ranging interest of Bloomington Normal residents. So get to know your Twin Cities better. Watch Teleview every Tuesday through Friday evening at 6:30 on Telecable Channel 10.
Showing your style in everything you do. It's a look, a feel, an attitude that's you. You'll find your kind of car, and that's for sure, at Huber, Lincoln, Mercury, and Mercor.
Get behind the wheel of a Cougar, Sable, or Tracer today. Test drive any new car and receive a free cooler and 6-pack of Pepsi now at Huber, Lincoln, Mercury, Mercor, Veterans Parkway, and GE Road.
I'm Jay Paxton. For over 70 years, Bloomington Normal has turned to Paxton's to solve office efficiency problems.
At Paxton's, you'll find Canon full-featured copiers, typewriters, and word processors from Sharp, Canon, and Smith Corona. Office panel systems, desks, and chairs from leading manufacturers, all supported by a full-time sales, office planning, and design staff, as well as service during and after the sale.
Look to Paxton's, the leader in office efficiency solutions since 1914.
And welcome back to Bloomington's O'Neill Park. John Mayo and Dan Highland with you. We're in between games, the Hearts and St. Joseph's. Hearts win the first one 9-0. They pinned 5 runs in the first, picked up another one in the second, 1 more in the third, 2 more in the fourth, and that's all they needed. 9 runs. Good outing for Bob Ginger. He picked up 10 strikeouts along the way, and as I said, only gave up 2 hits, both to Clark Adams, the shortstop, for St. Joe's.
Quick game, too. Real quick game. An hour and 5 minutes. Ginger in control from start to finish. Had a couple tough innings, but hopefully we'll get a chance to see maybe Bobby pitch again. I've looked down in the Hearts dugout. I don't see either Al Rebling or Mark Brayfield, the number 2 and 3 pitchers for the Hearts. Of course, both those players out of town people. They have to travel in, and maybe on a Wednesday night they're going to not be coming in. So I have to get to see Ginger for at least 5, maybe 7 more.
So Bob Ginger improves his record at 25-8 on the season. The Hearts overall 53-15. We'll set things up for you in just a little bit. Get you back for game 2 between the Hearts and St. Joe's.
Watch Telerobics Tuesday through Friday at 7 o'clock on Telecable Channel 10.
Welcome to Brad Barker Honda's beautiful, spacious new showroom, where in greater comfort, relaxation, and enjoyment, we'll give you a closer look at the most complete selection of all new 1987 Hondas in Central Illinois. If you're looking for a Honda, come to Brad Barker Honda, now at our new location at the corner of Veterans Parkway and GE Road in Bloomington. Brad Barker.
The Florida Everglades and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. The Everglades means airboating, as close as you can get to flying without leaving the ground. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer. And smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place in Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
Hey, guys, it doesn't get any better than this.
I got it at Grimm's.
I got it at Grimm's.
I got it at Grimm's.
That's right. They all got it at Grimm's, and you can too. When you buy a new TV or appliance at Grimm's, you automatically get the benefit of Grimm's convenient parts and service department. Our qualified technicians can service your TV or appliance in our store or in your home. Why not get it all? Price, service, selection, and satisfaction. Grimm TV and Appliance will serve you better because we care. Morton, Peoria, and Bloomington.
And welcome back to Game 2 Telecable Softball for you this evening. The Hearts taking on St. Joe's in their doubleheader. Hearts won the first one 9-0. Start off Game 2. Mark Brayfield on the mound for the Hearts. So he'll be taking on Ken Ross, leadoff hitter, the catcher for St. Joe's. And there's the first pitch of the ball game. Brayfield puts that one across. Mark comes in from the left side. Oh, and 1 the count on Ken Ross. Little different side of things now for St. Joe's after seeing Bob Ginger come in, throw all that good hard stuff. Now they got to face the other side against Mark Brayfield. Strike 3 called. Ken Ross goes down on strikes. Good start for Mark Brayfield.
Of course, Brayfield, who pitched last year for Nokomis Budweiser team. The left-hander. You don't see very many left-handers in at major fast-pitch softball.
It's 12-4 for the Hearts this year. 2.35 ERA. 107 innings, 107 in the third innings pitched. It's Clark Adams, the shortstop for St. Joe's. 1-1 on Adams. He was perfect against Bob Ginger, the only guy that did anything against Bobby last game. Adams was 2 for 2. Didn't get past second base. Shutout for Bob Ginger. Good pitch right there for Mark Brayfield.
This is my first time to see Brayfield pitch this year. He obviously moves the ball around well. We've seen him do that here in the first inning.
Slipped a little bit on that one, came off the mound. Looked like he wanted to throw the change right there and just kind of slipped out. 2-2 on Clark Adams. Down to second. That one taken in by Brian Marty. 2 down, no one out. 2 down, nobody on. Daryl Wayrundette.
Brayfield popping the glove too tonight. Wayrund, however you pronounce that. You've been doing a good job of that. I haven't.
Wayrund. Oh, 2 now. Brayfield looking pretty good.
Throwing a good first inning.
Ooh, just missed on the other half.
Umpire of this game, behind the plate, Roger Nichols of Bloomington. On first, on the bases.
So 1-2 count on Wayrand, right fielder. Goes down on strikes. 2 strikeouts to start things off, top of the first for Mark Rayfield. Good inning for him. No score. We'll go to the bottom half. Set things off for you for Hearts. Just about the same lineup for him. Brian Marty will lead things off. Brian was 2 for 3 in that first game. And Marty Stupek, Steve King, Bubba Bell moves over to first base this game. Greg Stockton behind the plate. Eric Niepagan went out to left field. Dennis Cooper is now the extra player. Pat Singleton is short. Mark Cedarblad will play third base this game for the Hearts. Improved to 53-15 with that last win.
This weekend, the Hearts have a couple teams coming in, playing some games on Saturday and Sunday at Ash Park, and we'll talk a little more about that later when we get a chance, John.
Mel Workman has moved back to the mound, tried to redeem himself a little bit. He started the first game this evening against the Hearts. Gave up 5 runs in the first inning, 1 run in the second before he was pulled in favor of Don Archer.
That's the luxury of fast-pitch softball. Those guys have rubber arms, not in the majors where you have 4 starts to think about getting shelled in the first inning, right, John? You get shelled in the first inning. Major leaguers get, what, 4 or 5 days to think about coming back and have to stew over that. Mel Workman got in about an hour and 20 minutes. Now he's back in there again.
So to lead things off for the Hearts, here's Brian Marty, second baseman.
And it looks like we've got our paperwork almost caught up.
A miracle for us, get it done in a half inning. It's nice when you have the same 2 teams playing each other for us. Our competitive or recreational leagues that we do on Monday nights over at Ash Park and Normal. Gets a little bit hectic at times trying to figure things out.
We need producers, we need producers or people like that to do our work for us. We need people.
That's what we need.
Is that what it is? People. We need to have people up here. So just you and I just kind of talk, and then they do all the dirty work, keeping score and stuff like that. Like an Arnie here. No, Arnie's down in the truck, isn't he?
But Joe needs a few extra hands down there in the truck at times as well. I know that much.
So Al, next year the whole staff is going to be asking for additional personnel.
Brian Marty took a big cut right there. 1-2 against Mel Workman.
Well, let's see if by some magic means Workman has developed some new pitch in between games that keeps the Hearts off stride.
Brian Marty found him early last game, a triple to start off the game.
First pitch, no less. Workman's definitely improved over his start last thing. He's got a couple strikes on the first hitter.
And he's going to call things out. Take his catcher out there. Going to get together with Ken Ross, see if they can figure things out. Ken Ross must be his catcher. Workman was pulled out of the game back in the second inning. Ken Ross went right with him, and Doug Maxwell came in to replace him. So maybe the St. Joe's team.
So if that's the case, why the confusion here then? good point. If that's his catcher, I don't know what's going on then.
Just trying to bring up small talk.
That's a good point, though. I like that. But then I started thinking, well, what's this guy? What are they all so screwed up about then? And, for Ross, I think he probably hopes that Workman does well. Because, how'd you like to be Ross and you're on a hitting streak and all of a sudden you get yanked because the pitcher gets yanked?
2-2 the count on Brian Marty. Goes to full.
The 42-foot drop ball there.
Here you see Ken Ross behind the plate. Along with Brian Marty in the box. And Roger Nichols, the umpire. It's a shot for Brian Marty. He's got his number once again.
Yeah. Mel Workman's got the pivot down real well. He spins around and watches that ball get lined into the outfield. Not Mel Workman's night, it looks like.
So is Marty Stupek, center fielder. Marty 1 for 3 in the first game. 2 runs scored and a stolen base. Not a bad game.
I'm looking around, trying to see what the holdup is this time. Looks like this time Bill Kennedy's decided to stay in the dugout in the first inning. And
ooh, heavy collision at first. Stupek is safe. Second baseman Mike Jaffe dropped that one.
A little bit of confusion on the play. Jaffe coming across the bag. Workman's throw was to the inside half, and that's where Stupek's supposed to be running. And needless to say, Stupek took the upper half of Jaffe's body to his chin.
There you see Marty trying to regain his wits. Brian Marty went over to third base. Bill Normer, second baseman, who came over and had that collision there.
He's still trying to shake off the effects of that forearm to the chin. Stupek's had a good night tonight. I hate to see him get injured. Get a good look at Normer there, and Normer just really had a tough time making that play coming across the bag. He took the came out of it with the least amount of injury. Stupek looks like he's ready.
So we've got first and second, nobody out. Goes down as a sacrifice for Stupek. Brian Marty went over to third base on the error.
And this time, unlike the first game where the Hearts were just stealing, they used the sacrifice as a means to advance the runners here in the first inning. And Stupek's ready, gets a nice hand from the crowd, and we're back to softball once again.
Steve King at the plate, the right fielder for the Hearts. Steve 2 for 3 last game, 2 runs scored, 2 stolen bases. Pretty active. Takes that one high and tight.
We'll see if Stupek cat and mouses them, and maybe he's lulled Ross into a little bit of sleep, thinking, oh, he's not going to run because he just got hurt. Let's see if Stupek takes off because he's got good speed.
Two and 0. Stupek second on the team in stolen bases behind Steve King with 22. There's a shot down the line. If it stays fair, it's got a chance.
It's gone.
It's out of here.
Steve King, boy, what a player this kid's become. Let me tell you, John, that's a fine. He got all over that ball. That's as long as I've seen a left-hander hit it here at O'Neill Park. Into the parking lot, getting all of that ball. Stupek gets the Cadillac around from first after the injury, and that's a big hit for the Hearts.
You know, I thought about parking my car there tonight and just decided I better not. 3 runs in, Steve King sends a shot out into the parking lot. The only question there is, would it stay fair? It just rode the line right down there, got out of here in a hurry.
King all over that, and as you said, that was a well-hit ball. I haven't seen a left-hander hit one that far in a long time here, and I'm glad to see Steve King having a good year. He is a quiet player, I can't tell you. He's the guy who never says a word to you as a former umpire, knowing. And, you know, having umpired for Steve's, you know, no matter what the call, no matter what the play, Steve King has the constant, calm, quiet demeanor, like a Ryan Sandberg, guy who never gets shook.
Steve King's 8th home run of the year. He leads the Hearts. Well over 30 RBIs on the season now. Bubba Bell standing in there. Bubba playing first base this game.
And I hate to point it out, but Mel Workman's problems continue with the Bloomington Hearts.
Yeah.
I don't think Mel's looking forward to pitching against the Hearts anymore this season.
3-0 the count on Bubba Bell. See if he's got the take. Yeah, he did. Takes the walk.
As a matter of fact, I think this might, in thinking about the ASA State Tournament draw, this might be the opening game of the state tournament, is the Hearts and St. Joe Ogden. I think the Hearts if they beat St. Joe, advance to play either Alton or Sonneman. So I think they are going to see each other one more time. And needless to say, it might be a surprise if Mel Workman gets the start. Brother Terry, former Beer Nuts catcher, out to talk to Mel right now. I think probably if you could read lips, John, what do you think he's saying? Well, brother, I think we've got problems.
Well, we're losing 3-0. We're in the first inning. There's no one out. What are you going to do?
Mel, you need to get an out against these guys. Mel's working hard. You can't,
Yeah.
This is just a good hitting team this year. There's nothing you can do about it. King just laced that ball. He's going to lace that against 3/4 of the pitchers in this state. So Workman shouldn't feel bad. He's just not having a great night, but the Hearts are.
Greg Stockton, catcher for the Hearts, steps in there. 3 runs in, no one down. Bottom of the first. Hearts leading this one. Want to know the count on Stockton. No one warming up down there for St. Joe, so they're going to stick with Mel Workman for a little bit. Good cut.
Ken Ross fakes the throw it on the first base, but I think Ken, when he faked it, realized that that's Bubba Bell down there at first base. And Bubba's got those black shoes on that make him look even slower than he actually is.
Hey, Bubba's got 2 stolen bases this year, though.
I bet. I'd like to have seen him. He looks even faster in those black and orange Bloomington Hearts shoes down at first base. So 2-1 the count here to Greg Stockton. There they are. Good shot of Bubba's shoes. Doesn't he look slow in those shoes? How can a guy look fast in a pair of shoes like that?
The man's hitting .370, has just about 40 RBIs on the year, 51 hits. He can wear those shoes if he wants to. That's exactly.
He's a big man, too. He's almost as big as I am, so he can wear those shoes. Workman working the inside half, not getting the ball up right now, and 3-1 count to Stockton. That one down and in, ball 4.
First and second, nobody out. Stockton in first. Bubba Bell moves up to second. Here's Eric Niepagan. He moved out to left field for game 2. Mark Cedarblad playing third base for the Hearts for this second game. Let's see what's on for the Hearts now. Looking down, getting the signals.
Bobby Watson, veteran, flashing him from the third base dugout, or from the third base coach's box, I should say.
That one gets away from Mel Workman. Bubba and Greg move up to second and third. 1-0 on Niepagan.
We started to talk earlier, excuse me, John, about St. Joe, and this isn't a real exemplary night for them, of course, against a tough team like the Hearts, but they do play a decent schedule. They're a 500 ball club, and that's nothing to not be proud about. They've got some games coming up. They still play defending A-State champion Sonneman in a couple of games, and Aurora's number 2 team, Aurora Dolan and Murphy, formerly the DJs, before they take on the Hearts in the AA state tournament. So they've got some games left and a chance to prove themselves in the state tournament.
Right at 500. They're 32-32 after taking that loss in the first game here this evening.
Talking to Dennis Archer, their coach, though, earlier, or Don Archer, excuse me, he did mention that they just returned from a trip against Aurora Coors, the big AA team up in Aurora, in which they played 2 close games last weekend, only losing 4-2 and 4-1. So, excuse me, 3-2, 5-4, and so they're playing well against tough competition. So tonight's just not a good night for them.
Bases are loaded now for Dennis Cooper. Dennis is the DH in this second game for the Hearts. Batting for Mark Brayfield, the pitcher. High and tight. Cooper getting out of the way of that one.
Chin music. Workman probably knows the Hearts pretty well. He knows Cooper's a newer player at this level. I think he's saying, here, get off the plate.
That one going after our cameraman. That hit off a light pole out here, and Gary Votes and Mike Wheeler down there looking around, trying to figure out where that one came.
It did deflect off this light pole right in front of you and I.
Thought we had one coming our way, and instead Mike and Gary got a little action down there. 1-1's the count. Dennis Cooper, bases loaded, nobody out, 3 runs in for the Hearts, so we're in the first. Good pitch inside, everybody stays.
Because they've got Bubba Bell anchoring down third. Bubba taking a couple steps. I think he wanted to show his aggressive base running style. But with nobody out, no sense in running themselves out of an inning here.
I knew there was another reason why I like Bubba. I just saw him turn around. He's got number 13 on his back.
That's right. That's your number.
I don't have any speed either, so.
Don't worry, that makes 2 of us. But of course, knowing Bubba, Bubba from when he played with the Bear Nuts team, he's a guy with a great sense of humor, so he'd be joking right with it. 2 of us speed merchants.
4th consecutive walk. Mel Workman and Bubba Bell comes in to score 4-0 Hearts. Still nobody warming up down there for St. Joe's. It's going to be a long first inning if they don't get anybody going.
Yeah, I glanced out to take a look and see if Archer or somebody had gotten up out of the St. Joe dugout. And needless to say, as of yet, they haven't.
Well, that one came inside, and that did hit Pat Singleton. So he'll move down to first. And Workman's really having his troubles right now. 5 runs in, bases still loaded, nobody out.
Well, he's obviously trying to get his first pitch inside tight so that the Hearts get away from the plate a little bit so he can have a little more plate to work with. That one just a little too tight on Singleton, and Singleton gets the uniform brush and a free ride to first.
So here's our first look of the evening at Mark Cedarblad. Number 4, the third baseman. Third baseman for the Hearts. Mark comes in hitting .290 on the year. That one gets away, coming to the plate, knee peg in, and he beats the catcher, Ken Ross, back to the plate. Ross got spiked in the head, I do believe, Dan.
Yep. Ross took the deflection off of the screen and dove back at the plate. And there's not much you can do about that because knee pegging is just trying to slide across the plate, and those steel spikes are still a dangerous thing. This is one of the few games besides baseball, upper level baseball, where the players are still wearing the steel cleats. And fortunate, very fortunate right there, as I'm looking at Terry Workman walking away from looking at Ross, that Ross didn't get seriously cut above the eye there.
This might be a stupid question coming from me in my baseball background, but why do they not wear chest protectors as a catcher in fast pitch softball?
You know, I'll be honest with you. I think it's tradition. This is going to sound stupid, but I think it's tradition. You know, it's...
Well, that one's at the head of Cedarblad. He goes down.
Get off the plate, kid. You know, it's kind of like they just don't. Some guys do it at the A level, and of course the women do, but at the AA level, these are big, tough guys, and they think that ball is real, you know, big, and it doesn't hurt when it pops you in the chest. But I've seen a number of catchers get, you know, just pummeled in the chest over the course of a game. And asked a couple guys, talked to some people who've caught a number of years, and they just, it's kind of like tradition. Nobody ever does it in fast pitch softball.
There's the first out of this first inning. Mark Cedarblad grounds right back to Mel Workman. But they went through the entire lineup as we go back up to the top for Brian Marty.
Here's something that'll scare you, John. Some of these, you go out and see some of these country teams play. You go down to the Class A state tournament, you'll see these guys who've been catching for 10, 15 years fast pitch. Those guys walk out there with the thin wire mask that you used to see guys use, no hat, and that's it. No shin guards, no chest protector. It's just their game. And
ooh, that one hits Brian Marty. This is getting a little bit ridiculous, I think. Workman's coming inside too much, and he's hit 3 guys already.
I agree. Workman's lost control. There's no doubt about that. And obviously his strategy is he doesn't want to beat anybody in tight on the plate on him, and he's a little mad that he has gotten 1 out and given up a ton of runs in his appearances here tonight. And it's just Bean City now, and I still keep looking down at the St. Joe bench, and nobody's warming up, so they're going to stick with Mel, obviously.
Marty Stupak at the plate. That one's inside and tight at Stupak.
Well, I have a feeling that the Hearts are going to start teeing it up and trying to slap it back to the box here in a minute.
Another one high and tight. 2-0. I just hope things don't get a little ugly out here.
Well, the Hearts don't seem to be...
They're not that upset yet.
Yeah,
but he's
saying much, but guys keep getting popped and popped and popped. I guess it's just part of the game, and they realize that. I think they just want him to stay in the game because they're feasting on him right now.
Chip Hasselbring, the third baseman, went over and talked to Mel Workman a little bit. 6 runs are in. We've got 1 down, 1 in the first. 3-0 the count on Stupak. Bases are loaded. Dennis Cooper's at third. Pat Singleton up at second. Brian Marty on at first. And there's ball 4 for Stupak, so he goes over to first. Everybody moves up. Dennis Cooper comes in to score. 7-0 Hearts. And look who's at the plate. Steve King, right fielder who homered his last time up. Hot shot down the line.
Terry Workman, once again, coming out to talk to Mel, brother Mel. And just like that, Don Archer obviously didn't feel he needed any warm-ups. He pops out of the out of the box and dug out.
Why don't we take a break right here? 7-0 is our score in Telecable Softball. We got a pitching change. Don Archer coming in, replacing Mel Workman. Hearts still got the bases loaded, 1 out. We're in the first inning. We'll take a quick break on Telecable Softball and get you back for Don Archer.
He's quicker, wiser, and stronger.
Secret of Miyagi family karate. I don't get it. Practice, you will.
No more tournaments. No more cheering crowds. This time, the combat is real. Ralph Macchio, Pat Morita, The Karate Kid Part 2.
Some pizza restaurants promise delivery within 30 minutes. Some pay celebrities outrageous amounts of money to sell their pizza.
I love this pizza. I really do.
Some pizza restaurants force you to eat their pizza.
Hey, you eat this pizza or I break in your face.
At Harlan's, you get pizza the way you like, with no hassles and gimmicks. Stop in or call Harlan's Famous Pizza today. Do you have friends, relatives, or business associates coming to town? Make their stay an enjoyable experience at the Hampton Inn. High-quality, clean rooms where kids stay free. Free local phone calls, free cable TV. And they'll appreciate a refreshing swim in our outdoor pool. Breakfast is on us with our continental breakfast served in the lobby. So be a good host. Make a reservation for your friends, relatives, or business associates today at the Hampton Inn, Bloomington.
And we're back. Don Archer is taking his warm-up pitches. He faces Steve King in the batter's box. Archer comes in to replace Mel Workman, who was ejected from the ball game, arguing the balls and strikes from umpire Roger Nichols, and he didn't like it, so he told Mel to take the seat. I think he was taking the seat anyway. So.
Yeah, I think Mel thought Roger was squeezing him a little bit, and when Roger went out to get the...
There's another one. Excuse me, Dan. Down the line, out of here, second home run.
Have a night, Steve King.
A grand slam home run for Steve King. That get out in a hurry.
Yep, that one wasn't quite as far, but that line drive never let up. And Steve's all smiles as he comes across home plate. It's Steve King night here tonight at O'Neill Park.
7 RBIs for Steve King in 1 inning, ladies and gentlemen. 2 home runs, a 3-run shot to start things off. Grand slam right there. That's got to be a record.
As I said, up here in the press box, you'd think it would be. I'm looking. The Hearts have a single season record. They don't have any game records, but yeah, that's an impressive show. And as I said earlier, I don't think it could happen to a nicer guy. That's for sure. You know, I'm a Steve King fan. I'll admit it.
Steve King. 7 RBIs in 1 inning.
And this could be a long one for St. Joe Ogden here.
It's 11-0. Hearts leading St. Joe's. We're still in the first inning. We get 1 out. Bubba Bell at the plate.
Hearts taking batting practice tonight against St. Joe.
Right back up the middle. Bubba will get a single out of it. So he's 1 for 1. He walked and scored in this inning.
We started to mention Workman's ejection just one last time when Roger Nichols went out to go out to take the change from Terry Workman. Mel just thought he'd remind Roger what a fine umpire he was. Roger said, well, congratulations, thanks for the compliment, and stay on the bench.
It's Greg Stockton at the plate. Roger getting that TV time in once again. There's a shot to deep center field. That one will get out. Yes, it does. Greg Stockton to center field. A home run for him.
Yep. Line drive, and ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get to see an offensive Bloomington Hearts team.
Hey, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, it is kind of fun to see a fast pitch game played like this. These guys just jacking the ball around the ballpark. You know, I feel bad for St. Joe because it's not a lot of fun, but you know, when you get a team like this, the Hearts, they're coming close to their peak time, where they want to peak. August is the big month for fast pitch teams, and needless to say, the Hearts are showing that tonight.
Don Archer just kind of lobbed that one over just a little bit. Eric Niepagan took it in for a strike. Don's giggling himself out on the mound right there.
And Don's faced 2 hitters and given up 2 home runs, so he's filling Mel Workman's shoes just fine.
Eric Niepagan took a big swing at that one. 13-0 is our score. Got to take time to add them up right there. 1-2 the count on Eric Niepagan, the left fielder. Eric walked and scored early. Takes another walk.
I think you can write this inning down as the inning that never ended. Another player heating up in the St. Joe Ogden bullpen. See if we can find out who it is.
There's a strike.
Kind of surprising that St. Joe would have a third. I thought that they would only have 2 pitchers, that being Archer and Workman.
Out number 2, a fly ball to center field. Dennis Cooper is retired. 2 down.
Pair you now, you have your calculator out when you do the recap at the end of this, don't you?
Yeah, I think that might be John Glad warming up down there. He's 41 innings pitched so far, and he's on the bench this evening for St. Joe, so we'll take a chance and say that that's John Glad down there warming up.
I was watching you glance at the statistics. Have they used a lot of different pitchers this year?
They've got a bunch of them down there. Pat Singleton lifts that one. That'll probably get out of play down the third base line. 2-1 now the count on Singleton.
Looking over, they've got about 10 different pitchers.
There you see, we think that's John Glad down there warming up.
It's about everybody on the team has tossed the ball once or twice.
Waits on that one. That'll get out of play into the stands.
Singleton with a big chuckle after he fouled that one off. Totally fooled by Archer. Good catch there by a kid down in the front row. And of course, John, why did he make such a good catch? As he runs by, what does that T-shirt say?
I didn't see it.
You missed it. When he turns around to put the ball in the chute, you watch. The reason that child made such a great catch is because he participates in the normal Parks and Recreation T-ball program. So
Clint.
this T-shirt says, Clint. Nice catch, Clint.
Ball 4. Singleton's on with the walk. Up to second base is Niepagan. And Marcus Cedarblad, who does not want to have the distinction of making 2 outs in the same inning. What would even be worse is if you're making 2 outs in the same inning and you're the last hitter in the Hearts lineup. Ken Ross scrambling a little bit for that one. Scrambled right out of your picture.
It's been a fast pitch inning to remember. I haven't seen a fast pitch inning like this in a number of years. It's just the Hearts can't do anything wrong tonight, seemingly, at the plate.
And Archer goes down on strike. Strikeout number 3 for Mark Brayfield. 1 down. Now here's Kevin Kelly. He'll move into the plate now.
I'm sure the St. Joe team kind of going through the motions now. Probably a little bit taken off the competitive spirit that they brought with them tonight. Once again, facing a big deficit. In just the second inning.
Good pitch right there from Outlet. And Brayfield, we talked earlier about Bob Ginger's velocity. Brayfield can bring it too.
Good shot of some fans there behind home plate. Getting a good look at it, and this one might be ours. Oh, just right behind us.
Just over us.
Seeing that left-hander Brayfield throwing, it's quite a difference. That ball's coming almost in on a different plane. You're seeing so many right-handers in fast pitch that seeing that left-hander, and for the right-handed hitter having to really reach out to get the ball, because the left-hander's obviously going to have an advantage in working the outside half of the plate.
Came in with the change right there. Backs Kelly off the plate.
Kelly tried to hang in as long as he could, hoping it would hit him, I think, and then when he realized it was getting close, he'd spun away.
Strike 3 called. Kelly goes down on strikes. Brayfield keeps rolling right along.
Froze him on the outside lower part of the plate. You saw Kelly just kind of look at it disgustingly as it went by and say, yeah, great pitch, guy.
So Larry Adams at the plate. Now, let me ask you this, Dan. A left-handed pitcher on there. Is it the same as in baseball where you have a right-handed batter would have a little bit more of an advantage facing a left-hander, or just the opposite, a lefty facing a right-hander?
Well, I think the fact that in baseball players like to get the ball outside, where in slow pitch, I think slow pitch hitters like to get the ball in the inside half, where they can, pull the ball a little bit quicker. But so I think the left-hander has a bigger advantage because he's working the outside half of the plate. You're away from the plate because the ball comes on you so quickly, and that's low and outside. You just can't get contact very well.
Singleton makes the play right there, retires Larry Adams. Another 1-2-3 inning for Mark Brayfield. He keeps it rolling right along. Faced the first 6 hitters, 4 strikeouts. Ground out to short and a ground out to second base. And the Hearts are at bat again, leading 13-0. We're in the second inning.
We started to talk a little bit earlier about the Hearts and the upcoming schedule that they have. This weekend they're going to be playing up in Normal at Ash Park. They're going to have Elkhart, Indiana's number 2 team. I believe that's name's escaping me. It's not Transair. That's their number 1 team with Peter Meredith. But they'll have Elkhart and one of the best teams in the Chicago area coming in, and that's Woodstock. So Saturday and Sunday, beginning at 4 o'clock on Saturday and noon on Sunday, fans out in Normal of the Bloomington Hearts will be able to stop by Ash Park and see their favorite team play. Of course, the Normal Parks and Recreation Department co-sponsoring that event.
I was here before the game early this evening, about 7 o'clock. The game was scheduled to start at 7:30. And some of the St. Joe's players had a little Pocket Hearts calendar schedule in there, and looked on the schedule and thought that they were supposed to play this evening over at Ash Park. So they had to send some guys over to Ash Park this evening and collect the majority of their team so they could show up and play. And they wouldn't get started till about 10 to 8 because of that.
I think if they were at Ash Park, they were probably happy. They thought the Hearts had turned over to and became a slow pitch team, because we're playing, of course, the league that you and I cover occasionally out there, the men's competitive league tonight.
Brian Marty leads things off. Bottom of the second inning, a fly ball to center field.
The Hearts are just up there swinging as hard as they can now. Marty swinging from the heels that time at the first pitch. The first delivery from Archer.
It's definitely a much better start in the bottom of the second for Don Archer. Here's Marty Stupek.
You have to realize the Hearts don't. They realize that, you know, they are obviously the better team coming in. They're not looking to embarrass St. Joe, that's for sure. They're just playing their game, playing hard. That's what they want to do.
That's a foul ball. Came in tight, 1-1. Marty is officially 0 for 0. And a sacrifice and reach base on an error. And he walked back in the first. 2 runs scored. Big cut right there, 1-2.
See that one coming in high?
Don Archer. One at the head. Stupek goes down.
That one right at the camera. If you were watching from our shot behind the plate, that ball came right at our telecable camera.
Does it still work, Joe? Well. There's a single in the left field for Stupek. Let's see if he turns on the wheels, goes for second. Either he comes into play. Safe. Double for Marty Stupek.
Great cam work there by our crew, as you see Stupek sliding hard into second base. Safe.
It does still work. The camera behind the plate. Al Shepson, our executive producer, everything is okay. You don't have to take that out of Joe's salary. It's okay.
I like that shot. We started out when we first started telecable softball with the shot from center field, a shot you see a lot of, you know, in the major leagues. But I really like this shot here. This really gives you a good feel in the fast pitch game for the movement that ball takes and makes.
Steve King just missed that one. Pops underneath it. Second baseman Bill Normer. So the second inning is not Steve King's inning. That first inning was, though. He had 2 homers, 7 RBIs in that first inning. That's a week for most people.
That hit was significantly shorter. I think we can say that safely. Yeah. That's good observation on my part, isn't it?
2 down now. Bubba Bell at the plate. Bubba's got home run power.
Bubba looking to see if he can yank one out to right.
2-0. Good pitch right there for Don Archer. Took a little bit off.
Wouldn't take too much more off for Bubba, especially this time of bat. Now Bubba knows what that pitch looks like.
Ooh, he took it again.
That surprised me. When I saw the release and it being a change again, I thought it might be Bubba's chance to uncoil on one.
2-2. That one just missed. Full count. Don Archer thought that was a strike. That came in a bit high.
Yeah, that looked high. And 3 times he's thrown that pitch to Bubba Bell, and I would not if it was me. That's for sure.
Came with the hard stuff there. Full count.
Ball 4.
It was ball 4. I was right to begin with.
Looks like the count got away from our guys keeping the scoreboard here at O'Neill Park. Matt Adams, Bob Boyd here in the press box tonight.
So Greg Stockton will take off the shin guards. Moving to the batter's box. Greg homered his last time up. He's 1 for 1. 2 runs scored. He sent a deep shot to straightaway center field his last time up. Takes ball one, down and low. Another one right at our camera. Runners move up. Stupek over to third. Bubba Bell moves up to second base. So not only would the Bloomington Parks and Recreational Department not like us cutting a hole in the fence, but I'm sure that our guys are really happy that they didn't do that this evening. We would have had some troubles.
Yeah, if the camera sticking through there, we would have had some troubles.
2-1 the count on Stockton. We try to get that as tight as possible for you. Try to get the fence rings out of the way, but sometimes you just can't handle that. Fly ball to the right field. Wayran takes care of it. No runs for the Hearts that inning. 13-0 is our score. So we go to the top of the third.
Welcome to Brad Barker Honda's beautiful, spacious new showroom, where in greater comfort, relaxation, and enjoyment, we'll give you a closer look at the most complete selection of all new 1987 Hondas in Central Illinois. If you're looking for a Honda, come to Brad Barker Honda, now at our new location at the corner of Veterans Parkway and GE Road in Bloomington. Brad Barker.
Is your carpet beginning to show its age? Are you tired of that same old kitchen floor? Then now's the time to stop into the floor store, 1201 Morrissey, for all your floor covering needs. Let Wayne and Gary personally help you choose from a large selection of no-wax vinyl floors by Armstrong and Congoleum. Carpeting by Mohawk in Philadelphia. Also pre-finished hardwoods and floor tile. With 13 years experience, you know the job will be done right.
See us, Wayne or Gary, for all your floor covering needs at the floor store, 1201 Morrissey Drive.
Lafitte, Louisiana and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Lafitte means flat-bottom boat racing and a Cajun feast that'll set your mouth on fire. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer, cold, crisp, Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place at Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Hi, I'm Dean Grimm. Back in 1920, when Grimm TV and Appliance first opened their doors, my grandfather, father, and uncles began to build a reputation for Grimm's, offering their customers fair prices, backed by good service and customer satisfaction. That family philosophy has become a tradition at Grimm's. For value, service, and the best in RCA electronics, Grimm TV and Appliance will serve you better because we care. Morton, Peoria, and Bloomington.
And welcome back to O'Neill Park in Bloomington. I'm John Mayo along with Dan Highland. Telecable softball for you. Hearts leading this one over St. Joe's 13-0 as we go to the top of the third. Mark Brayfield going right along. Hearts won the first game of this doubleheader this evening, 9-0. Be able to see these games tomorrow night one more time. We're taping this on a Wednesday night, so it'll be a Thursday-Friday playback schedule this week. Next week, we go back to the normal Parks and Recreation. We've got Men's Competitive League and Men's Recreational League next week for you. Monday and Tuesday, we tape them. The Monday games, you'll be able to see on Tuesday and Thursday. And the games we do on Tuesday evenings, you'll be able to see on Wednesdays and Fridays. All those games coming at you at 7:30 here on Telecable Softball. So we're ready to start things off. That's Dan's cue. Whenever I do that, he can get up, walk around, do whatever he wants to. Stretch out a little bit.
I know it's going to take you like 2 hours to read the whole schedule, so.
Chip Hasselbring, third baseman, leading things off for St. Joe's against Mark Brayfield. Brayfield looking pretty good to me this evening.
Yeah, Brayfield is throwing a real good game. He's throwing the ball around real well, kept it on the outside half, and his movement has been exceptional. As our movements are here in the press box, we untangle ourselves for our third inning stretch.
I almost choked myself right there. 2-1 now, the count on Chip Hasselbring. Fouls that one off. Hasselbring had a tough go of it against Bobby Ginger. 0 for 2 strikeouts last game. Pops that one up, coming our way. Over the press box here.
Brayfield kind of, in watching him last year pitch for Nokomis and this year pitch for the Hearts, looks like a little more like Bobby Ginger. He's picked up a little Bobby's mannerisms and Bobby's appearance on the mound.
Ooh, just missed outer half.
It's close.
Full count.
Brayfield with a 13-0 lead. I'm sure he's probably just interested in throwing strikes and working on his control.
Right back to Mr. Brayfield. He'll handle that one himself. One down here in the third. Vic Zimmerman, left fielder, our first chance this evening, and see Zimmerman at the plate. Vic hitting 277 this year for St. Joe's. .130 at bats. He's seen a lot of action for him. .2-0 the count on Zimmerman. Good pitch right there. Coming with the hard stuff once again, Mark Brayfield.
Greg Stockton's done a good job of handling these pitchers tonight. He's had them exactly where he wanted them. Constantly, in most cases anyway, ahead of the St. Joe pitcher or hitters. Excuse me, and plus you get a good, well-pitched ball game.
Brayfield got away with one right there. Came with the rise, and Zimmerman couldn't connect. It was a pitch he could have handled, though. Takes one for the team right there. Zimmerman, the first base runner for St. Joe's in the third.
We saw a rarity this weekend, John, when we saw a slow pitch no-hitter. This weekend in the women's AA state tournament right here at O'Neill Park. Pitcher for the Bush Woods kids, Nancy Renner, threw a no-hitter in what would have been a perfect game except for the fact that her catcher made catcher's interfered with the backswing of a hitter, and thus that player's awarded first, and an error goes to the catcher, and thus the perfect game out the door. And you never see a perfect game in slow pitch softball. That's a real rarity.
Down to second, stolen base for Vic Zimmerman. So St. Joe's trying to get things going.
Well, down 13-0, I guess they feel they don't have anything to lose.
Bill Normer is at the plate, second baseman for the Merchants of St. Joe's. Want to know the count on Normer.